Hey Thursday spellers, how's it going? This is Mr. Proud checking you out on YouTube video here, doing spelling in a unique way. We're just going to try it out, see how it goes, and maybe this is something we'll do more in class with. First off, you'll notice a little birthday cake down there. Happy birthday to one of my students out there. And if you haven't had the categories written down yet, you'll see the categories long I, short I, and we're working with oddball. So let's get going with the test. And at any time, if you need to press pause so that you can write the word down or think about it, you can also rewind the video if you need a repeat. So, first word, swim. My dog went for a swim in the lake. Swim. Next word, mice. Unfortunately, we found mice hiding in the garage. Mice. Next word, flip. Be sure to try not and flip your skateboard over stairs. Flip. Next word, nice. It is important to be nice to your elders. Nice. Next word, give. It is better to give than receive. Give. Next word, prize. Jill won first prize in the spelling bee. Prize. Next word, spill. Please try not to spill your drink. Next word, knife. It is important to be safe when you are working with a knife. Next word, hike. One way to be healthy is to go out for a hike. And the last word, stick. Please leave the stick on the ground. Stick. Okay. If you can please at this time press pause on your video, turn in your pack to Mr. Problem, then he'll know that you're done with the test. Come back to the video when you're ready, and I'll introduce this week's new words. Alright, hopefully you're back, ready to learn about some new words. And this week, we've been looking at long A's, long E's, long I's was this week's, and I bet you if you're thinking about the vowels and the process and like what comes next, you'll know that we're working with long O's. So this week, here are some of our example words. And you notice we're comparing the long O's to the short O's. And when I say these words, I have rope over here, pot right here, cone, and clock. What sounds do you hear with the O being in place? And remember, long vowels, when they are long, like rope and cone, will say the vowel's name O. Down here we have pot and clock, and you'll notice they have kind of like a ah sound. Like if you're going to the doctor and they have that little tongue depressor and they say ah, pot, clock. So thinking about these sounds, what I'd like you to do is check out this week's words, and as you're saying each word to yourself, see if you can find the two oddballs that don't seem to fit that sound. And as you're looking at each one of the words, see if you can recognize what are the patterns that make the long O in this week's sort. Also, what is the pattern that makes the short O in this sort? And you can also, you should be at this point stopping to pause the video, thinking about each one of the words, and just thinking if you can find those oddballs and what those patterns are. So now that you've hit or play and you're watching the video, this week's sort goes into short O, like you have your example sock, long O, you have your example bone, and then you have oddball. So when I say job, I got that ah sound, and hot, ah, spot, chop. Here we go with pot. Let's make sure we get our examples in there. Clock, put that in there as well. And now you'll notice that the other long O's fit over here. But now before we fill in the rest of the long O's here, the pattern that you're looking at, I notice that the vowel is always in the middle and it's surrounded by consonants. And so this would be the short O and with the CVC pattern. So in the box at the bottom of the first page, you should write this down under the reflection after you're done doing the sort. So now that we've cut that comparison of rope and clock between the long O and the short O, let's go ahead and put in the rest of our long O's. We have hope, home, hose, some, hose, home, hope, all have that long O sound. They're all saying the vowel's name. Some. It doesn't seem to fit. It looks like it would because it has the same kind of pattern with the O and then some letter with the E at the end, but also over here I got job, ah, and over here I got so it's almost kind of like I'm doing a and if you spotted before it, that is your oddball. What is the other one that maybe has a similar sound? Here we go with whole. Ooh, we did have one more short O in there with rock. Missed that one. Oh, Mr. Prowl. Joke. Stove. O. Those. Road. And cone. Rope. Rose. Oak. Broke. And come. Oh, there's that again. So we got our oddball. So there you go. There's your sort. Now let's not forget about the reflection for our long O. Here we have the long O says its name. So make sure that it has an O sound. And it has the CVC pattern again, but there's an E at the end. So we have O blank E. All of these have that E. So look at that. Look for those patterns when you're reading and see what words pop out. And one thing that I wanted to point out here is that you might be familiar with like road here with like another word. Like if I put in this kind of road, or it'd be R-O-A-D, that's the kind of road you drive on with your car, where you might see a cone on the road. But that's not what we're going to be working with this week. We're working with a different road, and this would be like if you rode the bus to school, like something that you ride. Well, the past tense of ride is rode. Another one was, let's see here, I'm trying to look through my list here and see what I might have. Oh, where's the whole? Whole. Okay. So this is the whole we're looking at this week. Sometimes you may have seen the word whole with W-H-O-L. This kind of whole is like, give me the whole pizza. I want the entire thing to myself. But this whole is sort of like there is a space in the middle of it. Like a donut has a hole in the middle. So we're not working with this kind of hole, but the hole that you would find, like if there was a hole that you would find on a street, you might see a cone next to that hole. I want to make sure that there's no other words that I shouldn't tell you about. But if you have any questions at all, make sure that you come see me and we'll talk about any of those words. And I should see that both of these reflections are written down at the bottom of your page. So thank you for trying out our very first screencast spelling. Let me know how you like it.